back. We're back. It's episode 17. We are really getting close to like 20 and 25, and I'm like kind of mind blown about it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed Shelly last week. I did get some good feedback about that, so I'm glad. I also would like to apologize because after seeing the actual video for the first time once it was out, I look like a dead person sweating. So that was really gross. And at least Shelly's beautiful, so you could look at her. Okay, so much has happened since Joe returned from his world travels, but I can't go into it all. So first things first, shout outs to New York City. I love you. I love you. You're my favorite city in the US. I am so sad I've never lived in New York. I was going to say in you, but then that sounds really weird. So I'm so sorry. I haven't lived there like for any length of time because I just love it. I don't care what anyone says about New Yorkers or what they think they know about New Yorkers. Every single person, flight attendant, pilot, coffee barista, every single person at Madison Square Garden, delightful, super helpful, super smiley. I just, oh my gosh, like big hug to New York. So, reason why I was in New York, NHT. Hockey is officially on and rolling. And this came up as a big surprise because every year I have I think there's a group of maybe like 12 of us from college. And so we always get together and we try and see one another and whoever can makes it. And, you know, we all have stuff going on. But we had like 10 people make it this year, which is super great. And one of our friends lives in New York, not in the city. It's a couple hours outside. So we all get there however we get there. And we spend the weekend at her house. It's so much fun. It's so great. I'll get into that later. But anyway, two of us who've traveled together, we were not leaving until Monday because my friend was able to score tickets to the Rangers St. Louis Blues game, 5:00 on Sunday, this past Sunday. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've only been to MSG one other time, and that was for a basketball game. And I don't really understand basketball. It's a very, very small court with very, very large men that look like giants running around. Everything about it is, I think one thing and it's wrong. So anyway, I just pretend to just clap and watch like I know what I'm doing. But anyway, in hockey, I do know what I'm doing. So the best time, it was so awesome. The Rangers did not show up, but St. Louis did, and I'd never seen them play, so that was great. We just had so much fun. It was so great. This is my Rangers hat. Like I've said before, I'm not a jersey wearer. I'm not a sweater wearer. But I do, like to support the home team always. So this will go into my collection of now 2 hats. So it's becoming a collection. I think right now it's just a couple. But anyway, also with the hat, I am still trying to figure out if I can actually wear the baseball hats. Some people look super cute and awesome in them. I'm still undecided. So I'm not sure if I'm hair down, hair back, behind the ears. But, and the shape, sometimes the trucker hats, my head's big, but anyway. So just, you can DM me with feedback. I'm sure TikTok will have a ton of compliments on that. Anyway, House of Dragon. Oh my goodness. I wasn't able to watch the season finale because why? I was at the hockey game. So I haven't watched it yet. I'll be back to report later, but I'm so excited. However, I did hear 2 rumors. One, that they were having trouble signing the actresses, the main girls, because of money issues. Big shock there. Not money issues like their money issues, like they want more money, which that's what I mean by big shock there, because if it's not equal pay, you know what I mean. Also, someone just said that it wouldn't be until 2024 until the next one. I'm like, what am I going to watch now? I kind of loved looking forward to the Sunday night show again. It's like it's a throwback to when we couldn't watch everything when we wanted to watch everything. So anyway, in the news, in my travels, I have found there are a lot of people who do not care for Tom Brady. I did not know this. I thought everyone loved him. So, I mean, and he is not quitting football. He's not. He's just going, he's gonna take a chapter out of Will Compton's book and just like at a certain point, just start to, pinch hit at the end, just to keep it rolling. He'll be 75 still playing at this rate. Kanye. You little douchebag. I mean, and I'll just refer to him as that from now on. I applaud Adidas for dropping him. And I support all of my Jewish friends and all of the Jewish faith, because when I have moved to other cities, I had to vote in like the Jewish community center. I have never been more welcomed in my life. I am actually not Jewish, but I was still welcomed, and they're lovely, lovely. Everything about it is lovely. So fuck you, Kanye. Elon Musk. I don't even know what to. I don't even know what to make of Twitter anymore. I thought Twitter was originally like a news source, and now I don't know what it's become, and I don't know what Elon is doing to it. But it's almost like he's like a little child who's like, I would like an Oreo. Actually, I'd really like a chocolate chip cookie. Well, I want the Oreo back. Well, maybe I don't want the Oreo. So, and he does that with like wives, and he does that with kids. Like, I don't like this kid anymore. I'm going to have another one. I figure your shit out and get out of the news, please. One other thing, and I'm not trying to start a beef here, but I was reading this little article about a girl named Sophia F. I'm not familiar with her or her world, but she was talking about how she was trying to out LeBron James about cheating on his wife or something. And she was saying that they, like a lot of celebrities will use like NDAs, non-disclosure agreement. Yeah, NDAs. Have people sign those so that they can't talk about, if they've met him in a club or whatever and they're out partying. And I started thinking, I was like, first of all, what he does on his time is none of my business. So you do you. But like, I know I take my party out of town because I don't need my children, their friends, when I was teaching preschool, their parents, seeing me dance like a maniac and scream and yell karaoke and, drink 5 shots at a time. Like, I don't need for people to know that about me. So I understand wanting people to sign an NDA so that they don't talk about what kind of fun you have. I don't know. Just look at it from that side point, because like if Megan Fox, her bodyguards came up to me and my husband, or separately my husband, and was like, hey, we're inviting a bunch of people to go back and party at her house, would you not sign the NDA to go? I'm not going with the intent of having sex with her. I doubt it would be on the table, but regardless, like, wouldn't you sign it to go for the experience? I don't know. I just think that's kind of uncool. Whatever. I'm not condoning cheating, by the way. Not. Oh, also, for those of you who have been celebrating and like booking your trips since the dollar's so high internationally, the college loan debt forgiveness is now under appeal. So you may want to get the insurance on that trip. You may want to start recouping that money that you may actually need to pay back your student loan debts. I'm so sorry. So I don't travel a ton, but I have talked about how like as your kids get older and you just have to like, and people move away and stuff, you just tend to travel more. Coming out of COVID, everyone's kind of gotten a little rusty about traveling, myself included. And so it doesn't matter for me if I'm trying to go out of town for like one night or if I'm going out of town for like 5 nights. It's kind of the same process that I have to go through. And because I have a child who is on a ton of medications and has to take them at certain times, and I've got a super needy dog who really will not poop unless I am there. And then I've got the other people that, sometimes listen and sometimes don't. I actually have to leave like really explicit instructions. Whether they're read or not in completion is not my problem, but the information is there. Do with it what you will. So there's a lot of prep work. I was crushing it the day I was leaving, which was last Thursday. And I had purposefully made a flight so I could watch my younger son's soccer game and then go straight to the airport. So I was there, sitting there in the bleachers, cheering them on. And all of a sudden at halftime, one of the coaches comes over and asks this woman, who I don't know, if that cooler and the whatever else she had in the bag were the snacks for our team. And I don't know if you remember, but I am the not wanting to be, but unofficial, like team mom, team snack person. So then I'm like, oh, shit. So I call up the handy dandy spreadsheet I made for myself. And lo and behold, guess what game doesn't have snacks and drinks? This one right now. So I'm like, oh my God. So of course I don't want to let anyone down because I hate that feeling. So I run to my car, go to the grocery store, I come back, and the game's back on. And all of a sudden, as I'm pulling in the parking lot, it's like, yes. And everybody's like crazy cheering. My son just put a banger into the goal from like almost the halfway mark in the field. And I totally missed it. Mm-hmm. So I'm really glad that they got their snacks. And no, they were not that cold. And I'm sorry. But I'm trying. So that was the first thing I forgot. The second thing, I get to the airport. I'm super pumped. I'm like, got my stuff all together. And because anyway, I look over and I'm like, oh, fuck. My daughter's school backpack is in the front seat of my car. Well, this is a Thursday. School happens on Friday. School happens on Monday. And I'm not coming back until Monday. So, sorry. So that was whatever. And then when I get there, everything's great. And I'm getting ready for bed that night. And I forgot what I like to refer to as my crazy meds. And this is just what I refer to it for myself. I have an anxiety issue, and that if I'm not like medicated for it, I don't sleep at night because I worry about like everything. You know, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on in the Ukraine? And is the gas leak still going? And how can we stop it? I wonder if Joe's flight is on time. You know, does so-and-so have enough to eat? You know, I mean, stupid shit. But I will like find stuff to get myself all cranked up about so that I don't sleep. So anyway, forgot that medicine. So the next day I am like going on to the patient portal because you can't just call and get anyone on the phone now. So I'm going back and forth with the person on the patient portal, whoever's going to check the messages when they check the messages. And I'm asking like, will you just send in like 3 to this CVS right down the road? That was not a shout out to CVS. It's just the pharmacy I use because it's located close by. But anyway, basically, I never get the medicine. And so as the weekend is going on, I am like getting headaches and I am becoming a little less patient. And so now I'm getting annoyed with myself because I was like, oh my gosh, Nicole, seriously, like get your shit together. And so then I just felt like, well, I should probably just always have a drink in my hand so that I'm kind of relaxing. And that way, you know, I can sleep. And I did actually end up going to bed earlier on 2 of the nights than the rest of the group. And so anyway, that was a little bit of a debacle. But I will say this. Now I know, number 1, never forgetting snacks again. Never going to leave the backpack in the car. And probably really going to try hard to not forget the meds. So lesson learned. Other than that, I think everyone survived and it was fine. Halloween is coming. And it actually marks the beginning of the end, or the actual end of Nicole's birthday month, because Halloween gets its own day. It's a fun holiday. And I mean, I love going through the candy and seeing who gives out the shitty candy and who gives out like the raisins or I mean, if you give out raisins, no, they're not going to be eaten by many, I promise you. But anyway, I love dressing up, but I am crunched for time a lot. So if I'm going to dress up, I'm going to go all in, or I'm just not going to do it at all. Or I might just have like a little like headband or something just to show I'm festive, but I'm not dressed up. And make no mistake, that's not a costume. Also, not a costume, a skateboard underneath your arm and you're trick-or-treating. It's not a costume. I need more. What I am instilling this year, I think, because I feel like a lot of people are going to dress up, is if you, male or female, or they, are dressing up as a slutty anything, like slutty maid, slutty nurse, slutty mom, slutty dad, you're going to need to go ahead and stay in that costume and assume that role for the next like 3 weeks. Just because we actually really need nurses, and who doesn't need an extra mom or dad? Who doesn't need an extra maid or house cleaner or, cook? So that's my new rule for that, I think, because I'm not a huge fan of the slutty costumes, but it might be because nobody wants to see me in a slutty costume, including myself. And I understand that. So anyway, that's just a thought. You go do with it what you will. Like I said, I'm going as a unicorn. My neighbor niece and I think are going to go as unicorns together. Her costume will be very different than mine. But again, not the swinging in the triad quad situation, just the normal fantastical being creature. So when you travel with your friends or you're seeing people that like you don't see or like, I guess, spend the night with all the time, I always am so like curious as to like what's in their travel bag, And I'm not talking about their clothes. I'm talking about their toiletry. Some people call it a DOP kit. Some people call it a Ziploc bag with stuff in it. But any of that stuff I'm really interested in because I want to keep this 25-year-old face looking 25, obviously. So it's just great when you discover new things. So a friend of mine comes out and she's got these like half moon things on her eyes. And I'm like, what's going on here? What do I need to be doing? And so I learned that I can get these eye things that are supposed to work for depuffing. Now, I've actually bought something that's in the freezer but I forget to use it all the time. So this is actually more, better suited for me. So she shows me what she bought, and it's like $120 for like 10. And she's like, I had a coupon code, so I got it for like 75% off. And I was like, well, can I use the coupon code? She's like, actually, look, it's sold out. So she got me one that is a lot cheaper, and many more of them. So I'm going to try those. And hopefully this is just going to be flat as a board like my stomach. Then there's a bathroom in this house. And so a friend comes out and she's like, oh my God, if anyone needs to tweeze, like go in that bathroom. It's the best natural light. And so I go in there and I promptly leave scared shitless because holy moly. Natural light is not kind to anyone close up at all. And now I'm concerned because there's hair on my face, and I have heard about like people using the like derma blade or something, and it's like a little tiny razor and it like gets that baby fine hair off your face. But I've been always nervous to do it because I've always thought that if you remove the hair, it's going to come back thicker and darker and faster. And I'm like, well, I definitely don't want that. I don't know if that's true or not, but we're going to ask some consultants on that or DM me and tell me. So regardless, I've got like little blonde peach fuzz, and I'm like, oh my God, am I supposed to be like doing something with this? And then someone's like, no, I just had like one random hair that I was like, of course. Well, then I'm looking at someone else another morning and they come out and they're like literally with this thing like all over their face. And I was like, what the hell are you doing? And it's this hair removal thing. And I'm like, wait a minute, am I seriously supposed to be shaving? Like, what's going on? And she's like, well, I don't know. I started it and now I don't want to stop because I'm worried. I was like, that it's going to grow back and it'll be thicker. And so now I'm like, well, shit, do I need this thing too? She's like, it's on the Home Shopping Network, which makes me think that my mom probably had it. And I probably have 4 of them in her stuff that's in my attic. So I'm going to do a little bit more investigating on this. But the hair removal situation is never ending. And it's just like a cruel, sick joke that the people that want the hair in certain places can't get it. And then all the hair that you don't want is in all the places that you don't want it to be. which then leads me to hair and dry shampoo, which is like one of my very best friends because I only wash my hair like twice a week. And that kind of is a result of COVID. And then I just got in the habit. So I was like, well, this is great. Well, all these dry shampoos now are causing cancer. And so then I'm like, well, I guess I have to go back to baby powder, which is what we used in college. But no, actually, the baby powder is why they don't have that. And they took that off so that they made dry shampoo, but then they have the talc in the dry shampoo. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm supposed to be using it or not, but I haven't had time to wash my hair and, I'm still dealing with the arm. So hopefully this isn't my last episode from dry shampoo. Back to the hair removal situation for a minute. About like, I don't know, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, how you have your group chats with your crew. Well, so my college crew, so obviously I've known them since they were in school and they were studying. And, a lot of the kids are getting older, et cetera. So I sent out a group text and I was like, hey, as you guys are getting more free time, could you please think about going back to school for the following professions? Because I always love it when someone's like, I'm like, oh my gosh, my car needs a blah, blah, blah. And someone will be like, I got a guy. Or you're like, wait, I need to go to a dermatologist. And they're like, I got a girl. So I love that. I love a referral. I love someone who's like, I think what's better though is that when your friends become those people for you. And that way, for instance, one girl in our crew is a vet. And that is super helpful when you're calling and you're like, oh my God, my husband just called me and the dog swallowed an entire avocado pit in one fell swoop. And he says it's toxic, which it is. And you promptly need to take your dog to the vet to then make it throw it up because it will obstruct the bowels if it doesn't. And it's also toxic, so it might kill them. But how great is it that you can text someone and they can be like, yep, that's it. Or when your dog's outside in the grass, and just chowing down like a cow, just putting grass. And you're just like, what are you doing? And you're trying to get them away and they won't come. They're trying to make themselves throw up. Now, I know that because my friend Billy is a vet. So what I feel like I was asking, and I gave specific people, specific occupations and areas of study that I thought that they would excel in. One, I really, really think we need a dermatologist. So, that's probably only 8 years of school. Maybe it's only 6, but I feel like we really need that as we age. Skin cancer is a real thing. Wrinkles are real. Yeah. Oh, acne's real, So a dermatologist would be great. And I have the person picked out. I think her bedside manner would be fantastic. So if she would just go to school, that'd be awesome. I also think an orthopedist is really, you need one. You need one. I have one who is my friend who's done my stuff like this, but it would actually be more helpful so that if I had 2 or 3 that I know, just because I don't want to always hit that same person up when I'm like, I got another injury, An esthetician. It's not for your ass. It's for your face. Everyone needs one of those to consult. What do you think of this product? What do you think of this product? How do I get rid of this? That's an easier one. I think the schooling for that's a lot less. Nurse practitioner and or pediatrician. This is crucial when you are rearing children. Crucial. Because if you have someone like that, they can calm your ass down in a minute and they can tell you whether you need to waste your time going to the doctor. An accountant. Now, here's where I really did hit the jackpot because most of my girls from college, one's a vet, and then I had 4 engine nerds. Not helpful at all. Not helpful. And 4 that went into accounting, and then the others were IT consulting people. And then we have one who's in marketing. None of that is helpful in the world I'm living in right now, but the accountant. So that's also someone that you should encourage. If you don't know what you want to major in, accounting is great. So do you remember that it was a book series and I think they made the movie and it was called Divergent. And it was they classify people based on their qualities. And so they put them into different groups. And then from there, they have different jobs and it kind of narrows stuff down. And so here in the States, like we can do whatever we want, whenever we want, anything is possible. And I totally support that. However, I feel like sometimes you get like paralysis because you're like, there's so much out there. I don't know what I want to do. So something like that might be helpful. Like if based on your skill set and your likes and dislikes, they're like, you would like to be in the science track. And perhaps because you're a nice person, you could be a nurse. Or you, my friend, should definitely teach economics. And you should be able to understand water flow and be able to put in a sump pump. Speaking of the sump pump, we got the sump pump, and the deal is there has to be an electricity source or electrical source for the pump to work. And I didn't ask those types of questions because the guy said, hey, you're going to have an electrician come out and do this. That's not in the estimate. I was like, okay, cool. I don't have any at the ready, hence the reason why I might need an electrician. So if someone could go back to electrical school and do that, that'd be great. And so he said, that's okay, we'll recommend two. And so he texts me two. And I, of course, click the first one on the text and I call and they're like, yep, I was like, I don't know what I'm asking for, but you're supposed to come out and like do something, put in an outlet or something for the pump, the sump pump. And they're like, yep, we'll be there next week. So these two lovely guys come out and they're like, where's the breaker box and where's the crawl space? And I'm like, well, those are on the other side, but whatever. I mean, I don't know. Not my area of specialty. I admit this. But when you say we'll coordinate with the other company, I take your word for it. So now they are like, we've done everything we can. And there's a huge extension cord in my yard that is making the sump pump work. And they're like, well, we've done everything we can do because the trench isn't dug. And I was like, well, what trench are you talking about? And they're like, well, yeah, I mean, the irrigation company is supposed to like dig a trench and then we do whatever they do. And I was like, okay. And he said, but we'll have our company call them and we'll figure it out. And I was like, all right, cool. Bye guys. No one calls me. And so I finally get a call for the extension cord. And I'm like, well, hey, the guys did that. And I explained the whole situation and they're like, yeah, no, they're supposed to dig the trench. And I'm like, well, look, I don't know. Nobody even said anything to me about a trench in my yard. So I was already like kind of given a pass on that, even though it was weird. So now they're in this battle and they're putting me in the middle where the electrical company is like, yeah, no, we're not digging the trench. And the irrigation company is like, they don't need a trench because they should have done X, Y, Z. I'm like, I didn't approve a trench. I'm not digging a trench. I am not paying for a trench. And why do we need the trench? I don't know. But if I had someone who was an electrician, if I had someone who understood water flow and irrigation that I could call on and ask these questions to, it would be great. So just think about that as you're choosing your friends. And I am not suggesting that you choose a friend based on what they do for a living. I am saying that when you're making friends, should you find that you get on with this person very well and you like really want to be around them, encourage them. Encourage them. Not so deep thoughts. I have had a lot of them lately. I voice text all the time because I'm trying to be a very safe driver. And I am driving. If I don't have my youngest son with me, who's my assistant, to correct things, I just voice it and text it. And oftentimes autocorrect does silly things. Autocorrect is killing me because it is taking certain words and turning them into not so great words. The word does autocorrects to dies every time. So if I'm texting someone that I don't know that well, they are thinking that I'm saying that their child now has died. Not okay. The word and autocorrects to abs, which apparently is my reminder that I need to get on the ab work to keep that flat stomach that I don't have right now. And my older son has a 4-letter name. It's not fuck. But that always autocorrects to like some random normal word, like went or like then. And it doesn't make any sense in the sentence. So then there's more back and forth about it. It's just stupid. So I feel like autocorrect needs to learn certain better dialects, or maybe I just need to turn my, I don't know. I don't know how to fix that. If you do, or maybe I just need to speak very clearly and slowly and enunciate every single word that I am saying. But I cannot live that way. I can't. Number 2, what do I watch after House of Dragon? I don't know. But I will tell you this. One of my friends got me into, and I know it's an older show. I'm just getting with the times. I didn't have Showtime. Billions. Oh my God. If you haven't watched that show, Billions. I think it's like 6 or 7 seasons, so it will totally keep you occupied for a while. The character development's awesome. It's so good. You gotta watch it. The third thing, and this is my like early gift to you. If you are in an argument with someone in your household and you really, really need it to stop, or like you have already done all of your usual tricks, like you've tried to rationalize, you've tried to yell back, you've tried to, leave the room, you're ignoring, and then that's just exacerbating the problem. Here's what you do. You go up to your room, you close the door, you don't shut it all the way, not click it, you leave it open a wee bit, and you take off all your clothes, and then you just stand there and ignore the person. And that person is eventually going to storm in, and they're going to take one look at you, most likely, and get the fuck out. And that argument will be over. If they don't leave, however, if they are really tough, turn around and bend over. And then I promise you, they will leave you alone. Argument over. So next week, I will go into more stuff, and I'm planning some more field trips. But if you want content and you have a certain thing that you want to learn about, let me know. I want to learn about tattoos and roller derby. So I'm looking into those things. All right. In the meantime, everything's going to be fine. We all know what a nosegay is now. Now we know how to end an argument, and we know to look out for our dry shampoo. So, Godspeed.